be an actress.
Oh, really? Did she do anything out of scene?
And I think her biggest deal was she starred in a pilot.
Pilot? What's a pilot?
Well, you know the shows on TV?
I don't watch TV.
Yeah, but you are aware that there's an invention called television, and on this invention they show shows, right?
Yeah.
Well, the way they pick TV shows is they make one show. That show's called a pilot. Then they show that one show to the people who pick shows. And on the strength of that one show, they decide if they want to make more shows. Some get chosen and become television programs. Some don't. Become nothing. She starred in one of the ones that became nothing.
Friends are coming over tonight.
Welcome to Couch Pilots. All of you are my friends. It's the show that dares to fly into the unknown territory of awful television, pilots of the past. My name is Jason, and with me is the man who'd like to punt his wife like a football. It's Captain Philip. Rest assured. Good evening. I love you.
Good evening. I love you too. I'm laughing because A, it was funny, but B, it was a lot. I had already picked out what I thought you were going to say.
Oh, okay. So we're getting to the point now where I pick a custom song that I feel like ties into the pilot, and then I do a custom description of you in the intro. So I feel like you have two guesses going into every intro.
Right.
So, but this time you were thinking about how I would describe you?
Yeah.
And what was that?
I thought you were going to say my favorite tight end.
Ooh, that's better. How about, and with me is the guy who's never shied away from a tight end.
There you go.
It's Philip Brisher. That, of course, I don't have to tell you what that song was.
That was Hank Williams Jr. All my rowdy friends were coming over tonight.
That's right.
Not the Monday Night Football version, but just the regular version.
Oh, I don't know the difference, and thought I was playing that one because
I thought when it first started, I thought you were playing the Monday Night Football version.
Oh, darn it!
But that's all right.
I should have done more research. We're talking about football today. Today's Football Wives.
Yeah, we're going to talk a lot about football.
I love football. I love all the positions in football. And here's the thing most people don't know about football. All the positions, they have different responsibilities and roles.
And there's 11 grown men.
Good call.
Fighting to get the goal.
That's right. Every week on the gridiron, as they call it,
yeah.
Everyone's just trying to grasp for that gold. People want
a goal. That's a goal.
I said gold.
They have gold in their teeth, gold around their necks.
Hey, you know what's funny too about that music video for that song? I back-to-back weeks here, I'll promote it. Jim Varney, who played Ernest P. Worrell, is in the Hank Williams Jr. video for All My Rowdy Friends Are Coming Over tonight.
Oh, awesome!
That is true. I think he's in a hot tub.
Nice.
With ladies with big hair.
He was probably a ladies' man, I would think. Jim Varney was ladies' man.
I tell you what, man, there are some photos. Every once in a while, a photo makes its way around the web, like on Twitter or something, and someone's like, "Good damn, Jim Varney be fine," and they're not wrong.
Yeah, he was a good-looking guy.
He played a dumb goofball,
sure,
but in a certain light in the right clothes. I mean, he was a good-looking guy.
Yeah, of course,
he's a good-looking guy. Anyway, what's coming down the pike here? I think Pike is the right word. I think you can still say
Pike's
that.
Peak.
You have a celebration coming up.
Sure.
You're going to celebrate something.
Right. It's Mia Molly's wedding anniversary.
Okay, now let me think about this for a second. I'm going to guess the year, how many years it is. Now, when I met you and we started podcasting, you guys were, I believe, engaged to be married.
Okay.
You lived over at the townhouse by the graveyard. A chilling look at things to come, perhaps. And you said... He said, I know you a little bit. I invite you to my house to podcast.
Sure.
You should come to my wedding. I would love to do that. He's like, it's in fucking Las Vegas. I'm like, oh, boy. It's that or pay the bill to keep my home.
Right. No, understandable.
And I mean, we only knew each other like a year or something at that point. So I didn't go. I didn't go to your wedding. But that was almost 10 years ago. I'm going to guess this is your 9th anniversary.
I think so. I think it's 9.
Oh, so you don't know.
No. There's a picture upstairs that has the date.
Oh, okay.
We moved in here in 2016.
I like there's a picture upstairs you walk by every day, look directly at, not sure what year it is.
we moved into the house in 2016. We were
Yeah.
already married. So, yeah, maybe it is 10. You think it's 10? Oh, shit.
I am at
No,
the,
there's
at the
no way
time
it
of the
could be 10.
release of this. I am about 2 months shy, a month and a half, 2 months shy of my 10-year podcasting anniversary.
All right, so it's 9 years. Yeah.
So I would guess that's why my guess was 9 years,
Yeah.
based off of my own personal experience and narcissism. And I'm happy to inform you how many years you've been married.
I appreciate it.
But you're going to celebrate. You're going to go somewhere. I imagine it's a place to go gamble.
No,
on anyway.
no. Actually, I said, hey, we used to go to Starved Rock a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we used to do a lot of hiking, and she always says, "Oh, I miss hiking." And I was like, I bet you don't really miss it as much as you think you do. But I was like, let's go up to Starved Rock, a place we spent a lot of time as a couple, and we took our kids, and we spent a lot of time there at the beginning of our relationship. And so I called the lodge and said, "Hey, I'd like to reserve it." This is like 3 weeks, 3 weeks ago, for middle of May, and they said we're booked. And I said, "How is that possible that you're booked?" They said we are. So then
You're talking about the lodge that sits right there in the park,
right? Yeah.
Okay.
And I said, "Okay, that's fine." This area does not have a lot of Hampton Inns or anything around it. Obviously, that's God's country. So I was like, "Oh well, there's a Grand Bear Lodge just down the street, right across the street from one of the entrances to one of the waterfalls that we both loved, and that there was 3 women got murdered in 1965, I think." And I called them, and they said, "Oh, we don't have anything open." And I was like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna have to go to a casino." I was scared.
Yeah.
But I put my big boy pants on. I stepped away from it for a moment and said, "Think, Blake. Have young, vibrant, excited, creative Blake think of something." And I was like,
You summoned him.
"There's got to be a bed and breakfast or something, right?
Here now we're thinking.
Right? A little cottage of some kind."
Well, you're jazzed up. I like this.
Right.
Yeah.
So I found this bed and breakfast that had, I think it's got 4 suites, and then it's got some other rooms, but it's got 4 suites, and they're different themes.
Okay.
Not like space theme, or just different.
Yeah.
Just different
Country kind of stuff. Yeah. Outdoorsy, woodsy.
And I was like, "I'll call them up." And I called him up, and he says, "We do. We have the the Caribou Suite is open."
It's $329.99 a night.
And I was on the website, and I said, "Oh, I'm familiar with the pictures of the Caribou Suite."
Are you you've been there before?
No, pictures on the internet. Well, I was looking up this place when I found it.
Okay.
And there's a big, huge, giant caribou head above the fireplace. There's a jacuzzi in the living room. And I said, I like these 2 nights. He said, "It's available." I said, "I'll take it." And he says, "All right." And he gets all my information. And he gets asks my credit card information. I give him my credit card information.
Yeah.
My debit card information. And he says the total comes to $526
For 2 nights?
for 2 nights.
Yeah.
But they serve they bring breakfast to your room.
Oh, well, it's not worth nothing, I guess.
So he said, now this is he said, and the card will be charged upon reservation. Mm-hmm. Now, to me, what that says is, as soon as you click the button for this reservation, it's going to charge my card, the way that it's worded, right?
Okay.
So I'm on the phone with them. I scramble to get on my phone. While I'm on the phone, I'm on my work phone. I scramble to put money into that account because I think he's going to charge it right there and there. He hasn't. So it's upon the beginning of your reservation. Felt much better about that.
Whew, thank God.
Much better about that. So at first, I was like, I'm going to be romantic, and I'm not going to tell her where we're going. And each week leading up, I will give her a clue. And
You got a very specific cadence right now.
and so she's like, "Oh, I'm excited, but I'm nervous because you're the one picking it all out, and
And you're an insane
and
person.
you're a selfish person."
Yeah.
I said, "Don't worry, I've got this. I'm a new man, doing my part to save what can be saved from this burning fire." And I said, "All right." So I spend the day at work finding all these stuff about the town of Utica and all this stuff around it and places that we might go. And I come up with 10 different clues because it's about 10 weeks. It was about 10 weeks, right? The first
About
clue,
10 weeks before you go.
Right.
Okay.
first clue, she gets right off the bat. And she goes, "Can I just have one more clue?" I gave her the next clue. For 3 days, she worked on it, and she couldn't get it. And then she said, "I'm stupid. I can't get these. I don't want to play anymore." So I said, "Okay, well, here's a screenshot of all of the clues." Because I spent so much time already doing them.
Yeah.
Fuck it then. So we're going to have a weekend getaway, do some hiking, nowhere near a casino. Nowhere near a casino. We're going to do some hiking.
You guys are addicts.
We're going to do, I'm gonna make like a no phone rule kind of thing, like on certain parts of the day. And we'll see if we can connect.
That sounds very nice. Yeah, you guys used to go up there a lot more often.
Oh, yeah. Well, and because we used to drop Garrett off at Oglesby, which is just like 5-10 minutes away. So we would either go, we would take the kids up early and go do that, or we'd pick him up early and then we'd go do that. So
Sure. Yeah, I've been up there a lot myself. I've dated ladies and we'd go for a hike for the day. I dated this one lady for a little over a year, and we purposefully went once every season.
yeah.
Including winter. Have you ever been up there in the winter?
I haven't hiked in the winter, but I've been up there in the winter, but not hiked.
Almost no one there.
Sure. This is dangerous.
Yeah, it is. It can be a little dangerous. I feel like every step I was trying to grip my foot as much as possible because of the amount of ice and snow that was
Right.
everywhere. But the payoff is cool because they have these a lot of little creeks that are running to the river. It's Starved Rock, for people who don't know, is Illinois is largely a very flat state. But this is one part where it's this kind of rocky ridge that sits over the Illinois River north of the area we live, about an hour and a half.
Hundreds of Indians died there.
I don't think that's right, but some did. I think some like literally starved up there. That's why it's called Starved Rock. Anyway, a lot of these have little creeks, and if you follow the creek from the river to its source, there's some of these waterfalls. And in the winter, they become these giant ice pillars.
Yeah,
and to see that in person is very cool. And I was lucky enough to do that once.
Yeah, they have. They actually have people that go and they climb those during the winter. They
Do they really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now that sounds dumb and dangerous.
Well, yeah, but they do. They're frozen waterfall climbers. Yeah.
This one lady that I went with repeatedly. During our previous visits, we would walk along. There's a bunch of different paths, but one kind of goes along the river, and a lot of times you end up down by the river, and you can shoot off of it. Go along the river, and there was a recliner in the river. The recliner was there every time we went, and she said, "You know what? In the winter, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on a bikini." And then we'll get to this point and I'm going to go out into the ice and get into the recliner, and you can take pictures of me in my bikini on this recliner in the river. And I said, you are the right kind of crazy for me.
Right. That's a good tell. Yeah.
We did it though.
Did you do it?
Yeah, she absolutely did it. She wasn't bullshitting. She 100% did it. I took the photos, and yeah, she was a hot little number too. Actually,
Sure.
She's like 24, 25. Got out there in her little green bikini and laid on this water-soaked, now frozen solid. Yeah, it was insane that she did it, but she was totally true to her word, and it was really fun and funny.
That's cool.
And then something else happened.
I
Later.
can't wait to see a
talk
picture of
about.
that. That's cool.
Something else happened at
St. Louis Canyon is our favorite.
Never been.
Yeah.
But,
You've never been to St. Louis Canyon?
No.
Oh my
No.
God.
As a matter of fact, I'm hearing it now for the first time.
Oh, it's there.
I also hear Turkey Run is nice.
We stayed at Turkey Run. We camped there for like 4 days. That is, if you when they say like intermediate or expert, or something, don't act like you're good at. I mean, some of them are tough. We went on an intermediate one, and it was
just talking
tough.
about the trails.
The trails. It was tough. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe you. Anyway, that sounds like a lot of fun. I'm very excited for you and Molly to hopefully rekindle
Non-refundable.
some kind of relationship whatsoever. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, you might have to go with me for a romantic weekend. It's non-refundable. So, we're recording right now.
Yeah, I know we're recording. Hold on a second. Hold on. Hello. Yeah, that's cool. Really? Who else knows? You haven't talked to him? Okay, I'm actually with him right now. Okay. No, I will totally be there. Oh, man. Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much, Jeremiah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. That sounds good. I will. Yeah. Hold on. Sorry. Yeah. I can do that. Okay. Thank you very much. No, I don't. Well, thank you. All right. Bye. Holy cow.
That was weird. Usually, you said it was Jeremiah, which every time I hear that name, I just laugh.
Why is that?
Just because he's such a buffaloing idiot.
Well, you're gonna hate this then.
Okay. Why was Jeremiah from the administrator for the Moose calling you?
Well, it's funny that your mind goes immediately to that Jeremiah, but you are correct. It was Jeremiah from the Moose, and I don't know if people probably listened last week too. You and I running against each other for the trustee board at the Moose.
Yep.
Jeremiah just called me with some of the results from that.
And you're going to announce that I beat you. And hey, buddy, I hope it doesn't affect our friendship. I won't treat you any different. Now that I'm a 3-year trustee,
Jeremiah wanted to call me to let you know that you won. No, he called me because I won.
Are you fucking kidding me? All that time I put in there and you win.
Put in there. I think. See, I'm the Barack Obama here. See, I'm the guy who's in his late 30s to early 40s, getting in, and he doesn't have a trail behind him of nonsense and debauchery. You've laid a path of destruction at that place. True. I'm the fresh-faced young go-getter.
Okay, all right, I see that.
So,
how many votes did you beat me by?
He didn't want to. We'll talk about the meeting. He said it was. He used the phrase landslide.
Oh, Stevie Nicks.
He used the phrase Stevie Nicks. He called you the Christy McVeigh of the Moose.
Oh my God, I'm dead. And loved cocaine.
I'm not sure. I'm sorry. I'm smiling because I'm happy, but no. I don't mean to be braggadocious. But
it's very unlike you. It's very unbecoming as well.
It is unbecoming. I am not I'm a sore winner, as it turns out.
That's why we never play Uno.
That's the only reason we don't play Uno.
No, you need one person to play.
Anyway, congratulations on a well-run race.
I thought I had it in the bag. To be honest with you, I thought maybe I got a little cocky, a little arrogant. I didn't shake enough babies' hands and kiss enough old ladies, to win this one.
I shook a lot of babies. Yeah,
you shook the babies?
They said
I was just shaking their hands.
Oh no! I shook the babies. They said I'm responsible for a 50% increase in SIDS locally.
Nice.
You know what SIDS stands for?
Sudden Infant Death Syndrome.
Yeah, that's it. It's a gas leak in here, I think. Anyway, I vow to make the Moose more profitable. I vow, one of the things, of course, that I ran on is that I promise to get more youth involved in the Moose and to increase membership that way.
Right, and I think at the beginning of it last week, you announced that you were going to work to get the women to not be able to sit at the bar and for them to accept asexual people. How do you plan to keep your promises on your platform?
Those are things that I just wanted, but the more research I found, I found that women don't want to sit at the bar. They don't like that.
Yeah.
They want to feel feminine, and sitting at the bar is a man thing. So if I outlaw it, I think I will be doing the women a service because they won't feel obligated to sit at the bar.
Okay, all right.
And so I'm going to have a roped-off area in the back with a curtain to separate the women from everyone else, and that seems to be a popular idea.
Oh, well.
As far as promoting asexuality, I know I've talked about this before, but like if you're a gay guy, it would be nice if I, as a gay guy, had a flag. And they say, well, you got one. It's a rainbow. And then they said, well, I'm a lady. I only like other ladies, and it's like isn't it like a pink triangle or some fucking shit?
I don't know.
Every sexuality has their own flag. I don't know. Fucking all these flags. Anyway, the asexual flag is just gray.
Oh, I thought it was the Alcoholics Anonymous A.
Am I coming off as an alcoholic lately?
No, I'm just saying. I just envisioned them as having the Alcoholics Anonymous symbol.
No, it's just a gray
circle
flag.
with a triangle in the middle.
It's just a gray flag, but it's got like a black outlining.
Hey, well, that's true. Well, congratulations.
So I'm going to put up some gray flags to promote asexuality at the Moose. I think we're going to have asexuality
Night?
Mondays.
Mondays.
Yeah.
During football.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? If you're not out there trying to pound ass or get your ass pounded, you're fucking watching football. Asexuals make up a large percentage of NFL watchers.
You have a lot of it.
I've done the research.
I know.
I'm not trying to cast aspersions here, but that might have been why you didn't win. Because we'll quickly talk about some of the things that you were running on.
Well, my platform was just like yours, to inject more activities and to promote it to the younger crowd. When I say younger crowd, 25 to 40. More community. What's the word I'm looking for? Getting our name out in the community more. Maybe
Community awareness.
Maybe sponsoring the high school football team. Being one of the sponsors on the football team. And also going back to $1.50 can nights every night.
See, now I knew that was not the right way to go.
Well, I thought I was there, but congratulations. I mean, you had, since you don't have sex, you're not dating anybody.
It is mainly why I won.
You have plenty of time to do research, and I got a little lax, and now I'm paying for it.
Because I'm not sleeping with anyone currently. I save a lot of time. Because when I go back and I think about when
in
I was
your mind,
I was thinking about the times I was having sex. I was like, my God, it was like 4 hours every day. It blocked out so much of my time.
Right.
Now that I've cut that out, I've got all this extra time.
Laser focus. Hey, are you going to show me one of those pictures? Can you show me one of those pictures, or will it?
Picture of what?
The girl on the recliner.
Oh, it's not on my phone, but I can.
I would like to see one.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
I'm not going to say anything.
actually, I can show you a picture of her that I have on my phone.
But I want to see her in the recliner. I don't want to just see a picture of her.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah, you
captains
do.
have turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
I've missed you, buddy.
Hey, today we discussed the pilot episode of Football Wives from the year of our Lord 2000+7. Hey, great year.
2007, great year. I was 32? No, I was not. I was 27. No?
Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Was I 32? How? Thank you.
The hell out of there!
I forget how old I was. What, no napkins?
You're 32. Eli just came down and delivered you a sandwich, an Alcoholics Anonymous bag. It looks like it's an Arby's bag with a big A on it.
That's true.
Just like the asexual flag.
That's great.
No one ever brings. How many times have you been brought food here, and I sit over here like a dumb fucking boner?
You want some French fries?
No, I don't want your. Yes, I want some French fries.
All right. Here, have a couple fries.
You do some free French fries?
Hand me a couple French fries.
Give him one of these.
Yeah, hand me. I need sustenance. I'm carrying this show. That's perfect right there. Thank you very much.
When have you not carried the show? This episode of Couch Pause is brought to you by Arby's.
Arby's, eat fresh. We have the meats. Hey, you know what the secret ingredients is in Arby's?
What?
Salt.
That's true.
These fries are okay.
They got some road weariness.
Hey, let's go back to 2007.
In our minds.
And to do so, we'll talk about things that happened in 2007 because that's when Football Wives was made. But that's not the year it is right now. Right now that you and I are talking, it's a different year.
Yeah, it's 2023, and it's a completely different. You can do it discreetly.
Do what?
Eat.
Am I doing that in the mic?
Yeah. all these times I've eaten on the mic and didn't teach you anything. Yeah, we're looking at this through the eyes of 2007. We can't look at it on today's standards because so many things are different. In 2007, we did not have power chords. Music did not have any. The ballads didn't have that power chord to them.
We were working with crank technology.
You had crank chords.
A lot of springs were powering things.
That's why people listen to Depeche Mode. Can't wait to see them live this summer. They're on tour. Did you get a bad blood?
They just went down the wrong pike.
Oh,
Hey, you're going to concerts now?
no, I'm being sarcastic. I would never go see Depeche Mode.
All right, enough out of you. Hey, April 16th, eat your fucking. What did you? Let me guess. Let me guess what you got. It is a roast beef sandwich with nothing on it.
Yeah, and it's I didn't get the I told her not to get the large one, just the medium one.
Smart.
Thanks.
April 16th, Virginia Tech massacre. 23-year-old Sung Hoi Cho fatally shot 32 people and injured 17 others. He used 2 semi-automatic pistols to kill them and killed himself as police arrived on the scene. Now, gun control, mass shootings, it's almost an evergreen subject in the United States. So there's always one close to any time you bring it up. And there was one
Daily,
recently.
Yeah.
Pretty serious stuff. And I'm not sure we've ever really broached the subject on the show.
I don't think so.
Why is mass shootings such an epidemic in the United States?
As opposed to other countries?
Yes.
Well, I think that, first off, do you want me to tell you that my opinion?
Sure.
We might lose listeners. Well, eating into the mic will probably lose listeners too, right? First off, I would say that our healthcare system is so broken that people cannot get the mental health assistance that they need. That's one. Number two, the gun lobbyists have put so much money into politicians' pockets that there will never be voting for the reason of stopping mass shootings. It's just they're just voting because the gun people keep giving them so much money. Three, Americans are so obsessed with fame, their 10 minutes of fame, and early on when these shootings happen, it goes all over the media. Their pictures all over the media. Their names all over the media. Even if they shoot themselves, which was normally what happens.
You think that the notoriety and the
yes.
infamy is a big component of it?
It's a big component of it.
Interesting, okay.
Those are my top 3 reasons. How about you?
I definitely agree with mental illness. My follow-up question was going to be, how do we stop this? And since you got a big old fucking mouthful of roast beef, I'll chime in. I don't know the answer, obviously. I don't own a gun. I don't care about guns. I don't care about the Second Amendment. Fuck the Second Amendment. The Bible said, if you sin with one hand, chop it off. Like, that's not fucking good logic.
Right.
What you're going to abide by? There's a guy who said, let me tie a key to a kite, and I'll be electrocuted, and then I'll go write what the America should do for the next 300 years. Come on, get the fuck out of town. These things are made so they can be changed.
Sure.
We don't need automatic rifles. Some people will say, I agree with you, but we should be able to own them. To what end?
Right.
To what end would you need to own that? Or do you feel like you need to form a militia and uprise against the government?
Right.
Guess what? The human beings in this country, the civilians outnumber the military probably 1,000 to 1,
right.
Maybe 10,000 to 1. If we really wanted an uprising, we could do it. We don't need to rely on us to have automatic weapons.
Lucky for the military that there's the high percentage of overweight people. So
that's all they can
they're
get.
Too lazy.
That's all they can get. Yeah.
I don't care if you have a gun, but you don't need a gun that can shoot off 35 rounds in like 10 seconds.
That's what I'm saying. That's part of my thing.
Yeah.
To what end do we have these weapons?
Right.
So I think we need a much longer waiting period by the time you ask for a gun and get a gun, and it's got to be mental health checks. We need to limit the amount of guns people have, and we need to limit the type of guns available. No one spends more. We spend more than the top 10 people combined on our defense. the worst enemy that the people who have guns can think of is our own government, because we're fucking safe compared to other countries. You know,
Right.
we just are.
Right.
I don't think we need guns. I think mental health, like you mentioned, is a huge part of it. And I also think that we're kind of out of problems to some degree. People want to feel like they're productive members of society. And when people sit around and do nothing all day, when people just chomp on meds or play video games or jerk off to internet porn, you do not feel like you're worth anything. And when you don't feel like you're worth anything, then there's nothing to lose when you go out into the world and massacre people like the video game you're playing. I'm not saying video games are responsible. I'm just saying people need to feel self-worth. People need to feel like they're accomplishing something, or they have some sort of value. And every human being does have a value to them, absolutely. I think the way to stop it is we just got to get mental health checks. You're right. The healthcare system is broken. People who need it are not getting the help they need. We're sending those people out into the world, and it's easy for them to get a gun, and then they fucking show up in a school. Does it have anything to do with transsexuality? I bet there are very, very loose ties to it, because I think part of transsexuality is mental illness, for a very slim part of it. I think most transsexuals are probably people who feel weird in their bodies, because that was the most recent one. It was a transsexual,
Right.
the most recent shooting. I think most transsexual people are probably born and they feel weird or awkward in their body, and they want to do something about it. Fucking go for it. Go nuts. But I think some people are abused sexually, and it fucks with their head.
Right.
I think some people are born mentally ill, and that obviously that's directly fucking with their head.
Right.
You know, but that's like anybody. That's not with just transsexuals. That's with gay people. That's with straight people. That's a black guy. That's a white guy.
Right.
The real answer is gun control and healthcare in terms of mental illness, and I think you would see a dramatic drop. And I don't think the notoriety is as big as a component as you think it is, but I could totally be wrong. I'm totally open to being wrong about any of the shit I'm saying.
I can sum it up by the words of a famous actor, Sam Elliott, in Wyatt Earp
Say hello to my little
in
friend.
Tombstone.
Was that it? Say hello.
No.
I don't know.
He said, "I'm not saying you can't own a gun. I'm not saying you can't carry a gun. You just can't carry a gun in town."
There you go.
Solves the problem.
All right, here's some movie releases. I thought we'd get onto something a little bit lighter. Movie releases in April. We got Grindhouse. Do you know Grindhouse? Mm-mm. Grindhouse is a very interesting experiment done by Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino. They each directed a short film, about 90 minutes, and they played them together. When you bought a ticket to one, you get to see both with a brief intermission.
Really?
Doesn't happen. These are things that would happen back in like the 60s and 70s when you see these weird exploitation, like low-budget, gory horror films. They would group them together like that. They were trying.
Right.
They brought that back with a Grindhouse. They did Death Proof, which was just great. It's got like Rosario Dawson and Kurt Russell. That was a great one. And then Robert Rodriguez made, Planet Terrors, about zombies. It was over-the-top, gross and shit. And they had fake trailers for horror movies, fake horror movie trailers that were great.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was
I'll have to check it out.
Hot Fuzz. Have you heard of Hot Fuzz?
Has something to do with cops?
Yeah. It's a British film. Is by Nick Frost and Simon Pegg, those guys who did like Shaun of the Dead.
Okay. No, never saw that one.
And then finally, Aqua Teen Hunger Force, movie film for theaters. Now, I know you know Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Yeah, it's the hamburger guy, meat wad,
Yep.
and then the shake guy, and then the fry guy.
And I think I've mentioned this on the show before. When this movie was released, they played it in its entirety in a tiny corner of the screen on Adult Swim with no audio. They would just show their regular shows, but they had the whole movie playing. It's like if you turned on, Netflix and you're watching an episode of Stranger Things, but in the bottom corner they were playing the new Top Gun movie. It was like that. It was an insane thing they did, but very funny.
Yeah, a little subliminal kind of thing too, maybe.
Maybe a little bit of that going on. Anyway, I feel like I'm back in 2007.
That's cool.
Hey, I was 26. You said you're 32. Why did we choose to watch Football Wives?
Three simple criteria. A, it was a pilot television show that never went to series. Whether it aired or not is completely irrelevant.
Oh, yeah!
Thank you, Macho Man. Also, we had to find it on the internet.
Awesome!
Thank you, Ms. And also, it had to be free, baby.
Very Very good. Hey, you can find the entire episode of Football Wives by subscribing to Couch Pilots and SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes. Or go to YouTube. Blake?
You know what to do, Tube.
Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff, please.
I don't know if I ever told you this. Years ago, Andrew Garfield, they announced him and said he's going to be the new Spider-Man.
Uh-huh.
And I think the first Amazing Spider-Man came out in the theaters on like July 4th weekend. Like, this is going to be a huge weekend.
Yeah.
And so my brother and I said, let's go see the Spider-Man movie. So, all right. It was in the summer, so I was wearing cargo shorts.
You loaded it up with candy.
And what happened was, before I went to the theater, I stopped at Taco John's. And I had a glass bottle of Coke, and I put that in one pocket, and I put a bunch of tacos in my other pocket. I waltzed right in. They didn't say shit to me. Fucking cowards.
They're not going to say anything to you, man. They're teenagers. They don't give a shit. Right?
That's right. But what I did is I sat and I watched the new Spider-Man movie. I love Spider-Man. And I was eating a nice little taco feast.
That's great.
I feel like maybe we should do that on this show. You're kind of doing it right now. You're having an entire meal while we're on mic.
I'm sorry.
Maybe we should do that sometime.
Just
during the show. I want to hear forks and knives against plates.
You want to do that? You know what?
I think we need 2 guests.
Okay.
Everyone gets a full meal.
Okay.
And I'm talking like
vegetable
boiled broccoli with salt on it.
I'm not eating that.
Oh yes, you are. God
How
damn
about
it,
mashed
yes, you are.
potatoes?
Mashed potatoes and gravy. Remember we went to that place and the entree, they're like, you get 2 sides, and you're like, mashed potatoes and gravy, and mashed potatoes and it's the only fucking thing you'll eat because you're a baby.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
We'll do it. We'll have
a great idea.
Sometime. That's what episode 400 will be.
Something to celebrate. We have to wait. It has to be during something to celebrate.
Episode 400, our big landmark episode. We'll just have people slopping around food and eating.
I'll have a reason to use my grandma's fine china that is in a box.
About time. Hey, summary of the pilot. A look at the lives of women married to professional football players of the fictional NFL team, the Orlando Stingrays.
I'll give it a B+.
Okay. I added part of that at the end. The Orlando. I thought the making note that it was an NFL team in the name of the team.
Did you add the fictional part?
Yeah.
Oh, then that wasn't there before?
No.
That you're the one that got it a B+.
That means
because that was important to me.
Interesting facts.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Interesting Facts. This is the part of the show where Jason has scoured the internet to find out facts you may not know about this television pilot. All he asks is that you do not share your opinions of these facts. You can listen to them. You can enjoy them. You can ponder them. We just ask that you do not give your opinion about these facts. You don't know what hard times are, Daddy.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
How's that sandwich?
It was good. It was cold, but it was good.
Interesting facts. The pilot of Football Wives is based off of a British television drama about fictional Premier League football club Earls Park FC, its players and their wives, broadcast on ITV from 2002 to 2006. It was called Footballers' Wives.
Footballers.
Yeah, that's what they call them over there. That's what they call the soccer players.
It's
not soccer over there. It's football.
Sure.
And the guys who play it are footballers.
I wish I was a little footballer.
Wish I fucked Xena, the warrior princess. I'd call her.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, this pilot was developed for ABC in 2007. The pilot episode was written by Marco Panett and directed by Bryan Singer. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but very problematic and canceled person. And starred such notables as Lucy Lawless, James Van Der Beek, Gabrielle Union, Holly Robinson Pete, and Ving Rhames. Fact.
I only knew Van Der Beek.
You knew the older black guy. You knew Ving Rhames, right?
He was the guy on the Green Mile.
He's often confused with Michael Clark Duncan. That guy's definitely dead. It's a bummer. I hate that Michael Clark Duncan's dead. That guy was awesome. Anyway, but Ving Rhames is another big black bald dude. But he's right. He was like in Pulp Fiction and shit. He's great. He's great.
A character actor. I'd probably see him.
While it was not picked up for a series for the fall of 2007, The Hollywood Reporter later reported that the production company ABC Studios had extended its options on the show's cast and that NBC and Fox and even the CW were interested in the series. Fact.
Wow. All the big players.
A number of websites, including Digital Spy, speculated that Football Wives was not picked up due to potential conflicts with the National Football League and ABC sister networks ESPN Monday Night Football and broad surrounding NFL programming deal. Fact.
Oh, okay. Because they were thinking of doing other shows that pertain to actual football. Is that what you're trying to say?
I think they just thought it could get messy with how they're maybe portraying things in the NFL.
Okay,
with
I
that
got
kind
you.
of connection. That ABC and ESPN didn't want that kind of heat.
I got you.
Football Wives was one of at least 6 pilots turned down by ABC and reportedly tested very well with women and only so-so for the men. Fact. In 2010, a reality show of the same name aired for 1 season and 8 episodes on VH1. It is unrelated to the scripted pilot from 2007. Fact.
Okay.
End of interesting facts.
Those are good. You always scour well. A lot of people ask me, what is one of the traits that Jason has that draws you to him as a person? And I'm like, his scouring. He scours the internet like nobody's business.
I'd be scouring.
You need to make a t-shirt.
I need Twitter responses.
Twitter responses. I wonder if Jason got some Twitter responses.
Yeah, I got one. This one is from Spencer Garrett, who played Coach Hicks. This is about a football team. The football team has a coach. This is the guy. Anytime that we do one of these pilots, we reach out to the creators, writers, directors, and actors of the program, and we say, greetings from the Couch Pilots podcast. We talk about TV shows that had only 1 episode. Next up for us is Football Wives. We're excited to watch it, and we're wondering if you had any fun or interesting info you'd like to share. Thanks. We hope to hear from you. Well, like I said, Spencer Garrett did respond. He's at one Spencer Garrett on Twitter, and he said, I wore Ving Rhames' hat to dinner tonight. And I said, hey, is Ving Rhames like the coolest guy on the planet? Like, he seems like a nice guy. Anything else you'd be willing to share about the show, I'd love to hear about it. And he said, well, he gave me his hat when we wrapped up the program. He was a lovely guy.
Awesome.
That's all I got.
Just about a hat that he wore that night?
Just about a hat.
Your timing is great, because if you had a different day you had messaged him, he probably wouldn't have told you that story.
That's right.
He's not going to tell you the story, hey, I wore his hat to dinner 2 nights ago.
It was Ving Rhames' hat Thursday, and I got him at the right time. But, hey, thank you, Spencer, for responding. I had a couple other guys, I think, like some of the tweets and follow the show, and I followed them back and sent a message. But as time of recording here, no dice on a response. But that's okay. Let's go ahead and break down the 45-minute pilot. This is an hour-long drama, essentially, about Football Wives.
Right. And originally, just by the title, I thought it was going to be a reality show.
Well, like I mentioned in Interesting Facts, a few years later, it became one for 8 episodes. We were in Orlando. In the beginning, we get some hip-hop music. We'll see it's kind of a montage of beautiful mansions, palatial estates.
The beach and everything.
Sexy money, stadiums. Yeah. We're seeing all this shit. We get a suntan machine up top with Xena the Warrior Princess, Lucy Lawless. I never was attracted to Lucy Lawless and Xena the Warrior Princess, but she is a beautiful woman.
Yeah, she was a babe for sure, and it was Tanya, correct?
That was Tanya.
Yeah.
She's in like the suntan machine. What do you call that thing?
A tanning booth.
Yeah, thank you. She's in the tanning booth, and her husband comes home. His name is Jason, and they just start fucking right in the machine.
right.
Like, that's the first scene of this show is a quick montage of Orlando, and then some hot fucking right in the.
Right. Well, and he's the QB. He's the main guy on the team.
Yeah. We go to making of a music video.
Yeah, this is a making of a music video, and there's a lot of splashing. It was like about 2 inches of water, and there's a girl half naked, and then a bunch of guys that just have jeans on, and they're splashing around dancing.
That girl's Gabrielle Union, and Another babe.
I'm telling you,
She's a hot girl, man.
There definitely are babes in this
my
pilot,
God.
and that's what kept me going.
The music video is all hot guys, hot ladies, and even hot cars.
Yeah, and we see a gentleman outside of the sound stage. He pulls up, and his license plates say TD Maker, and he comes in and starts talking to his girlfriend, who is what's her name?
Gabrielle Union is
Chardonnay.
and her boyfriend, who is an NFL player,
Is Kyle.
His name is Kyle.
And he's like, "Hey, are you going to Tanya's party tonight?" And she's like, "I can't because I'm not a football wife. I'm just a football girlfriend." He drops down on one knee, gives her a big old rock, and says,
Boom.
"We're going to Tanya's party tonight, baby. Yeah."
Shit. So he proposes marriage. She instantly says yes. Next scene, we see Brian, who's played by James Vanderbeek. He brings his lady, his wife, and Donna to their massive new house. He's just been signed for a 5-year contract, so he's got all this money. He's
Right.
flush with cash right now. She cannot believe the house.
No, they pull up in a pickup truck and have a U-Haul connected to them.
She even says, like, I'm wearing underwear from
High school.
college. Yeah, like my underwear is old. Like we have this influx of cash now. It's insane. And they also have a baby. They also have a baby with them.
Baby's name is Molly.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Next scene we see Tanya, and she almost is like, since her boyfriend is the QB, and she does seem to be slightly older than everyone else. She's kind of the leader of the wives. It looks like.
She's definitely the leader of the posse.
And they're all at like a daytime brunch or something while the guys are down the field practicing.
Yeah, which is pretty fun. And so they start introducing each one of these wives that's going to play a main role. All I wrote down was boobs and surrogate mother. There's one lady who's one of the wives is talking about her boobs and how one's going into the shop for repair, and the other one's like, "Oh, I'm blah blah blah, and this is my surrogate mother."
Yeah.
And it's some young girl that's in a jersey, and she's like, "I can drink," and it's
Yeah. Yep. She's got someone else to do her baby work for her.
I want my baby work, baby work, baby work. I want my baby work, baby work. Babies come out of younger women.
We meet a lot of those ladies, like you said, right away, and we kind of right away get a taste of some of the cattiness that these women have.
They're catty for sure.
And we get an idea of some of their extracurriculars, like when the boys are out of town, they go out and party it up and just try to keep sane. And they know their guys are out there doing their thing and partying and shit too, and so they do it too when they're gone.
Yeah, they call it when the guys leave town for an away game. They call it bitch night.
Hell yeah. It takes a serious turn, like out of nowhere. I will say the show feels very melodramatic, very soap opera, but in between a lot of the scenes, we get like this kind of lighthearted music telling us that it's not to be taken too serious.
Sure.
A lot of sex, a lot of drama, but like it's kind of lighthearted drama until this phone call happens. It's a mysterious man telling Donna that she needs to stop stalling and get him some money if she ever wants to find her son. And we have no context.
Right?
For
Yeah.
that.
It was way out of left field.
Yes.
It hit me like a hammer here.
Apparently, some guy gets hurt on the practice field. It goes to a commercial. We come back. Donna's coming home, and she sees her sister Nicole. And apparently, her sister is fucking the carpet guy.
Yeah, she just showed up, and she's like, "How'd you get in?" And she's like, "One of your handyman let me in," and he comes popping his head out of the water. She's like, and this is the one that
if I was a handy guy,
you're handy,
and a girl like Nicole's knocking on the door, she could say whatever she wants. She's coming in.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Anyway, Donna tells her sister that she's been getting calls from the guy who adopted her son, and he wants $10,000 to tell her where her son is. So that's the guy who called earlier.
Right.
Next, Jason arrives home to Tanya. He starts throwing glass bottles around.
Yeah, he and like I said,
how's that fry? Is that good fry?
We just found out, about Donna's secret.
Yeah.
Next scene, Jason's going off and like pissy and throwing everything glass around and threatening his wife and just, super shitty person.
No one is without sin. Not one.
No.
So he comes home. He's really going nuts. I think he maybe even cuts Tanya's hand or something.
And he's like, "Sorry, I'm sorry."
Very melodramatic scene, and he's upset because he thinks his role on the team is looking to be phased out or diminished a little
Right.
bit.
He's gonna get. He's the older veteran.
Kyle and Chardonnay announced their engagement to his mom Jackie, and that's Holly Robinson Pete. People probably recognize her. I think she was in like 21 Jump Street. I think she was also in like Head of the Class. She was around in like
Sure.
the 80s and 90s. For
Yeah,
sure.
and his mom lives there.
Yeah,
That's
with Kyle.
Yeah.
Tanya goes to talk to Frank, and that's played by Ving Rhames. He's the GM of the team. She's there to save her husband's job, and I think she fucks him.
Well, this is the way I gathered it. She goes in there, and she says, "Hey, what's going on?"
It's so weird that the wife of a player would not only be able to get a meeting with the GM, but have any kind of leverage to make a deal.
But it seemed to me during their conversation, he's like, she's like, if Jason goes, I go, and so they obviously have been fucking because.
Oh, I think so too.
Because Frank makes a statement as like, as long as
I'm kept happy.
Yeah, as long as I'm kept happy.
Jackie, we then go back to the Chardonnay and Kyle situation. Jackie is not sold on Chardonnay. Again, Jackie is Kyle's mom. Chardonnay is under the impression that Kyle's mom will be moving out, and Jackie says, I don't have any plans to move out.
Right, yeah.
Donna then tells Brian how the other wives seem like kind of like a creepy sorority and how she feels like she doesn't fit in.
Right.
She's the new girl
Yeah, they're
town.
in the hot tub.
Yeah.
Which would be nice to have a hot tub.
Oh, you say that now. Tanya comes home after humping Frank, and Jason doesn't know that she's doing that.
He's like, where you been? She's like, downstairs. I called Frank.
Yeah, called him.
I mean, that's like my wife calling my boss at night.
Bizarre.
Like, yeah.
And she says that his job is secure. Okay, she just fucking mouth fucked him. Frank and his team, then we see him like in a hotel or something, secretly welcome a new teammate. We don't see who it is. It's revealed later. But then later at practice, we see a bunch of hussies like in the stand.
Groupies, like NFL football groupies, practice groupies.
They full on make themselves known, and then there's a shower scene with all the guys, and then Jason, the quarterback, is left by himself, and then Nicole, Donna's sister, comes in like just wearing a jersey and like the Stingray helmet, like the
mascot helmet. Yeah, and it's Donna's sister, which is crazy. How she got down there without any kind of security, it's just amazing.
They let them in there, quick little hand jerk, you get in.
And then it's another scene with Kyle's mom and Chardonnay.
Yeah,
is that Chardonnay? Is that what her name is?
I think
right?
that's what her name is.
And I like the reference that she's Cosby black. The mom states that she states, "What do you think I am, Cosby black or something like that?"
Yeah, she's saying to Jackie, "Why don't you like me?" She said, "You're not black enough." It's like this is not a spray tan.
Right,
I am a black woman, and she's like, "Yeah, you're not dark enough. You're not ghetto enough. You didn't come from enough humble beginnings. Your parents had money." And she's like, "I am a black woman. I'm a good person. I love your son." Whatever. Jason then lays the Mac down, but not before he lays the smack down on Nicole.
Right, and then after he's done, he
Yeah.
like kind of gets up off of her, I guess, and he's like, "So do you want an autograph?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's what a woman wants to hear after having sex." And she instantly, after knowing Jason for maybe 25 minutes to a half hour, is like, "Oh, I'm just gonna spew out my sister's deep dark secret."
Donna has an adopted son. She told Nicole about it. Nobody else knows.
Not even Jason. Brian.
That's right. Not even Brian knows about it.
Too many fucking names.
There is a lot here. Kyle and Chardonnay talk about Jackie not liking her, and then they get it on until Jackie interrupts. And now Chardonnay says, "I'm going to withhold sex until this mom
I got a headache.
resolved."
I got a headache until this gets resolved. Which,
you're at an 8-month streak for headaches, Blake?
Yeah.
Wrapping up, something seems to be.
I think I need to get the duct work cleaned in the house.
Oh, good luck.
That kind of,
Is that what it was?
Well, no, I'm just saying, that there won't be so much dust.
Mm-hmm. You say so. Wrapping up things in content seems to be difficult. How do I end a song? How do I end a sketch? How do we end this movie? If this show gets stuck in a scene, it ends with two people fucking.
Right. Yeah,
okay.
That is true. Yeah. That's where the editor knows where to cut to the next scene.
Yeah, exactly.
When they're done fucking, go ahead and go to the next scene.
He takes his pants off, but this is where I really do make a note. There's a lot of playful music in this. As intense and as serious as some of the stuff can seem, the music gives us some levity.
Right. So the wives show up to Donna's house, and they're going to take her out. And she's like, "Oh, I can't. I got the kid and everything." Nicole's like, "Oh, I'll watch the kid." Like, okay, we'll go. I know this really nice restaurant or something, or we'll go looking for a dress or something like that. And they pull up to a private jet, and they're going to go on a plane to Miami to look for a dress.
It'd be a day of shopping and bonding together. We see the
Just
ladies.
get in the plane, the private jet. Why not?
That's real life for some people. We see these ladies in a high-end store, and Donna is hesitant to indulge in their lifestyle. She says, "This one piece of clothing that I look good in, and you're telling me I should get, it's worth more than all of my current clothing combined."
Right.
And she doesn't feel right about it. She comes from humble beginnings herself, and to spend that kind of money seems wildly indulgent.
Yes,
to her.
for sure. Donna and Tanya sit down and have a heart-to-heart, and all of a sudden Donna tells Tanya about her baby problem.
No, she doesn't. Tanya tells Donna that
Oh,
she
I'm
knows
sorry.
about
Yes.
it. She
Yes.
knows about it.
Yes, I apologize. And then Tanya offers her and writes her a check for this $10,000. She has the money, but she doesn't want Brian to know about it. She doesn't know how to filter it out.
Well, Tanya says, "I know about your baby situation." And
I know about your baby situation.
And Donna's like, "How do you know about that?" And she's like, "Well, Brian told Jason, and Jason told me." He's like, "Brian doesn't know about that."
Right, yeah.
And so immediately, they're all kind of putting it together that like something's fucked up's going on. And this is where I stop and think to myself while I'm writing these notes, what the hell am I doing? Like as a person, as me, Jason, what the fuck am I doing?
Right.
Detailing this fucking soap opera.
Right.
But yeah, they say, Donna says to Tanya, it must have been my sister that I've told Jason. And so they instantly resolve the mystery of what happened. But obviously there are other things that happened in between there that we'll find out. Brian is the father of the adopted baby, but he doesn't know the baby exists. Her family, Donna's family, moved her away, and Donna could not go through with the abortion, so she kept the baby a secret, had it, and then gave it up for adoption. And then, yeah, like you said, Tanya writes Donna a check and even mentions, if it wasn't implied enough through this, that one day Tanya might need a favor.
It was like the Godfather of football wives.
Exactly.
One day you'll come to me and needing a favor.
It's exactly like Billy from last week's trash episode. If people are doing someone a favor and they have any kind of seediness about them at all, they're going to expect something in return eventually.
Right, for sure. Donna comes home from her trip to Miami and instantly smacks the shit out of her sister Nicole, aggressively, for sure.
There's no real conversation.
No,
there.
there's no.
Donna says, "I know what you did," and
smacks the
Nicole
shit out of her.
is like crying and like, "Man, I just got my ass beat down."
The next scene is Kyle is upset about his mom moving out, and
They found her an apartment.
Yep, and she's like, "Well, now we can start having some sex." He's like, "Well, but I worry about my mom," and so
Whose side are you on here? Kyle's in a shit situation.
yeah, Kyle's screwed.
What side are you on here?
I don't know. To be honest with you, if I was in that situation, I'm.
They're both. I think mainly the mom's being shitty, but they're both kind of being shitty.
They're both being shitty, but that is a fine. I mean, once you pick a side, you have to stay with that side for eternity.
I think you're right. Once you pick a side, you got to run.
Sorry,
with
but
it.
I'm going with Mama. I really am.
You're gonna go Mama?
I'm a mama's boy. You know me.
Yeah, you are a fucking.
But
mom.
I would pick my mom probably in this situation on this television show that we watched.
My note is that Kyle should execute both of them.
You're all about executing things that are annoying.
I just want to cut things out of my life like a cancer. Just then, we hear a noise come from Jackie. We go to the next scene. Donna is now meeting with her son's adopted father, like a hotel or a restaurant or something. And I think she went to Atlanta, Georgia, to do this.
Right, and
he gives her a Manila envelope.
Well, yeah, a Manila envelope.
It appeared that everything with all the contents within were laminated. Didn't it appear?
It for sure. I know the photo was for sure. But she looks at it and he's like, "Okay, now I want my money." And you know, she hands over the money. This is just getting so crazy.
Kyle and Chardonnay.
Yeah, they're being interviewed in his backyard.
Beautiful home. They're back there with like a photographer and a reporter and stuff.
The mom crashes it, and basically, I keep wanting to say chandelier.
Chandelier. Yeah, Chardonnay.
Chardonnay.
Like the wine.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, Jackie comes out and her ankle's all wrapped up because in the previous scene when we heard that big crash and her screaming, I think she purposely did something to cause this situation. She's walking around with a cane. And then Jackie and Chardonnay are kind of airing their shit out right in front of these reporters, so much so that Chardonnay
Gets
feels
back into a corner.
Absolutely, and begrudgingly asks Jackie to stay with them
sure.
to save face.
Sure, you can stay. The next scene, Brian leads Donna out in the front of the house and shows that he bought her a brand new sports car, and she's like, "What? I've got a kid that can't even fit a car seat in here."
He says, "We'll get a baby vehicle."
Yeah, we'll get a baby vehicle. But he's like, I want to give my wife everything she's ever wanted. And
She seems
very uncomfortable.
Well, she seems very grateful, but she also has the weight of this baby thing happening. You can tell that it's
Baby
bothering
weight.
her. She's trying to lose the baby weight.
trying to lose the baby weight so she could drive this car.
Everyone is now at a big party. Donna gets her first glimpse at some of the hot-ass groupies that kind of circulate around these guys. And the coach of the team introduces the GM, Frank, and Frank announces the new QB. His name is Sal Biaggi.
Yep.
And
Do we see Sal?
I think we see him reach out his hand from a hotel room and shake.
We don't see his face.
We see him in the scene for just a second.
Yeah.
And then we now know that Jason's role on the team will be greatly reduced.
Right. And so after the party, we see Jason and Tanya. Jason's driving his yellow Ferrari, and he's chasing down Frank, who is like in a SUV.
Yeah.
And he basically crashes into him.
He rams him until they're both off the road.
Yeah, and they get out, and Tanya ends up hitting Frank and seemingly knocks him out.
Well, yeah, Jason
hit his head or
Jason
something.
confronts Frank, and Frank totally dresses Jason down.
Right.
And then, Tanya is like, fuck this. Because,
He's like, I haven't been giving you this pussy for nothing.
I was going to say, like, she's fucking him and who knows who else, but she is living this insane, extravagant lifestyle because of all these different chess pieces she has in motion. She's married to the quarterback. She's maintaining his status by sleeping with other people. And when his role is diminished, that affects her directly.
Sure.
Selfishly, that affects her entire lifestyle.
Right.
So she does. I don't know what she does to Frank, but she seems like to club him or something.
Right, and so they to the point where they think he's dead.
Absolutely, they think he's dead.
The cut to Donna is at home with Brian and kind of talking about the sisters and the groupies and everything.
She's concerned about these guys, about the groupies
this
and
way
the
of life
infidelity and all that kind of stuff.
And he's like, "Hey, I don't need this. The guys asked me to go out. I'm going."
By
out.
all accounts, to this point, and I know it's still new and I know it's still fresh, but Brian seems like a good man. He has not cheated on his wife, and,
Right.
and he's being kind of attacked by her. Maybe he is not communicating with her well, but she is not really being super fair to him, I think, in this scene.
I think it's one of those things like he's like, okay, I'm going with the flow. This is kind of like this is our new life, and this is kind of how things go.
Yeah.
And she's still uncomfortable with it and kind of overwhelmed and kind of shitty.
He's like, I'm going to go hang out with the boys. And she says, fuck that. I'm going out with the girls.
Tosses that baby Molly right over to him and leaves.
Yeah, if they didn't have that baby, they'd both be out of there.
Isn't that the case?
Tanya and Jason put Frank in his vehicle. They think he's dead. They put him in the vehicle, and they push it into a pond full of gators. They're like, we'll push it in there. They'll sink to the bottom. Turns out it's only like 3 feet deep.
Right. And he's trying to push it further down, and it's not going, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden gators come out. And to me, this is like this is dark too. Like, like you said earlier, it's like it's fun, it's sexy, and there's all kinds of stuff. But then every like 10 minutes or 5-10 minutes,
Boom.
something really shitty out of nowhere happens.
He's trying to get it all the way into the water, and Tanya's like, leave him to the gators.
Right.
Which she's just saying, like, let the gators rip this man apart. It's fucking insane.
So Tanya ends up. Well, Donna goes to the bar to meet the wives for drinks, and they're playing pool. And then Tanya shows up, and she sits down, and she's like, "Oh, where have you been?" Donna goes, "Where have you been?" And she goes, "I've been here all night with you." And he kind of gives her the look, like,
And if anyone asks,
Yeah.
that's what you'll say, right?
"That's the favor for the $10,000."
Man alive, that came back quick, didn't it?
Yep. And then it goes to like a vignette, kind of reviews all the secrets that everybody has on the show.
It's funny because, I said earlier, Tanya, in the show anyway, has kind of established herself as the head or the leader of all these football
Head
guys'
bitch.
wives. And so she is narrating this part about the girls having their own activities, having their own kind of group, their own secrets. And while that's happening, we see Jackie present Kyle with a prenuptial agreement to give to Chardonnay. We see Brian come across Donna's plane ticket to Atlanta to see her son. And Nicole calls Jason because she wants to go over and sit on that dick. And all the while, like I said, Tanya is giving narration about all this stuff and the girls. And the last thing we see is out in the middle of nowhere with Frank, his vehicle in the water, his head down, eyes closed. Opens his eyes.
His eyes pop open and
boy.
cut scene.
Cut scene. That's the end of that. Holy crow! What a lot of info.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position.
The countries often rip off shows from other countries.
Sure, The Office, IT Crowd. That's another one.
It didn't work. We only did one episode. We covered it right here on the Couch Pilots program. But yeah, that's another example. And here's one that didn't work either. The American version of Footballers' Wives. I'll never understand it completely, but NFL is the biggest sport in this country. Why not make a show adjacent to it? We have. What's it? HBO has Hard Knocks or something.
Sure, yep.
And it's like a documentary series about working with a specific team. But why not some sort of dramatized, scripted program that runs parallel to the most popular sport in this country?
Well, I think they could do that, but they don't need to involve like babies given up for adoption, abortion, and attempted murder, and so much infidelity. I mean.
How would you do it then? That's part of this. Part of the show is why didn't it work? Because I feel like this is a soap opera with a bigger budget on steroids, and they slap on top of it the NFL.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what to me that's one of the things that didn't work because it was an odd backdrop for this drama. You
talking about the NFL or the fact they're in Orlando, or
just to have football as the backdrop of. These rich people and all their problems. You know what I mean?
Well, they thought it would work because it ran for, I guess, 4 successful seasons in the UK with the Footballers version.
But people in Europe are a lot more liberal, right? There's more loosey-goosey.
Are they? Maybe so.
They're more okay. They're more accepting of stuff. That's why we watched the pilot with a game show where they were naked. It was Australia, but still.
Yeah. That was full frontal nudity for an hour. Maybe I think it was a full hour.
It was an hour.
Holy man! Remember that lady fell off that thing completely naked? It's got to smart. So if we were talking about improve it, you're saying take out some of these harsh themes, or,
I
just take off the NFL element altogether?
I just don't think the backdrop and the drama go together. I just don't think those two things go together. And you're gonna get wives from 30 to 45 or 50. They're gonna get into the show. Men are gonna watch it one time and realize it has nothing to do with football,
right?
And they're out.
That's why it tested better with women, I think. So do you not like that it's directly related to the NFL? Like, no. If it was a made-up league?
I just...
Like the Football League of America.
But they don't say NFL in this. It's never...
They may not.
No, they wouldn't have been able to.
Okay.
Use the NFL, say NFL. I don't know. I just thought that adding football to this... You could have had a rich women's... drama, not just moguls or Mad Men kind of thing. You know what I mean? As opposed to football. I don't think the two correlate. In regards to telling these dramatic stories and it getting so dark too. I mean, don't try to be fun loving and free and hey we're gonna spend all this money and then 5 minutes later give me some kind of dark thing like attempted murder.
I am going to disagree and say that I think there is something to attaching the NFL, or a fake league of some kind. It doesn't have to be the NFL.
Sure.
Like when you watch Law and Order on TV, a lot of times in the commercials they'll be like, ripped from today's headlines. They're doing a version of something that really occurred in the news,
right? And
they turn that around pretty quickly. Look at all the drama that really does exist in the NFL, just as we see it from the players, without knowing the personal side of it. What's that? Aaron Hernandez killed a guy.
Yeah.
Fucking Michael Vick ran a
dogfighting.
Yes.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Right.
These guys, Tony Romo married Jessica Simpson. Who's Tom Brady married
Nicole Bunch or no
Giselle
Bunch.
I mean, we're talking about the hottest women in the world.
Yeah.
There are stories to be told here. This could be the Law and Order of the NFL. This, taking real life stories that happen, insane things that happen in football, and then they go, peeking the curtain back a little bit, all the crazy things that people are trying to do to maintain their status in their community and without being fired or whatever,
Yeah, I see your point.
I think there's a lot of stories to be told there. Whether or not this specific execution was great or not can be debated. That's all I'm saying.
Well, you're the master baiter.
What the fuck did you say to me?
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure
Hey, I know
your
how to
seat
get
backs
me
and
off.
tray tables are in their full upright
Nobody knows better than me.
Rotten Tomatoes, there's no score there. It is an IMDb. Did you happen to find it there, Blake?
Yeah, I was going to say it was probably about a 5.2.
That's from 219 ratings. Critic review. This is Brian Ford Sullivan from the FutonCritic.com. He says, what works about the show is there's a few fun characters like Kyle's mom and a few fun lines. Kyle's mom, upon learning Kyle's engagement to Chardonnay, so when she do, is what she says, like he knocked her up. But what doesn't work, it's also disappointingly predictable and obvious. All the plots, baby blackmail, fiance clashes with mother-in-law, wife who will do anything to stay ahead, are straight out of the warmed-over soap opera plot playbook, while only marginal effort is given to a fresh spin on them. The bottom line, Brian Ford Sullivan says, it's the type of show that reminds us that Desperate Housewives does on a weekly basis. What they do on a weekly basis is no easy task. I think this was written at the time when Desperate Housewives was a huge thing on TV and really was firing on all cylinders. Viewer reviews, 2 out of 10 stars. Plankton Rules, who we interviewed on this show. You remember that guy, Martin Hafer? Pretty much all pretty women and sex and not much in the way of pilot. He says, so why do I think Football Wives failed? Well, it sure lacked depth, and the show was supposed to be a drama. It was really about one or two things, sexy women and sex, and not much else. And frankly, you can get more out of just watching some internet porn and just about as much depth. Martin Hafer, talk about firing all cylinders.
Way to go, buddy. That's probably our best one for us you've done.
Hey, let's see. A few more people. These are quick hits from YouTube. Someone says, this is actually not bad. It would have been a great show. Well, this cast is actually lit. I'm surprised it didn't make it, but maybe it's too similar to the TV show The Game, which was another, largely a black cast about a professional sports drama. Okay, this went from 0 to 100 pretty quick. Serious Desperate Housewife vibes. This should replace Good Girls on NBC nowadays. Good-looking pilot. This is a lot for a pilot. Dawson, or wait, is this his character from Varsity Blues? And finally, I'd love to have a football wife on there that got beat up by her hubby. Jesus. Probably shouldn't have read that last one there.
That's all right. You're just reading somebody else's words. Unless you type that. I mean, you have a tendency to make up summaries.
If one section of the show is lacking, I do create content for it.
For your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captains turn off the fasten seatbelt sign.
It's the part of the program where we give our ratings. We've taken in a lot of information, and now we have to crap out a score. The scoring system is a 1 through 7. It's based on the television program from the 1990s, affectionately and accurately known as Wings. We look at all the characters from that show, and we assign them a number. The worst score, that's a number 1, and that's a character on Wings, goes by the name of Roy Biggins. Number 7, that's Gillette, the best a man can get. Number 7, Brian Hackett. That's a number 7, yeah. Hey, Captain Philip, rest assured, I turn towards you. How do you rate Football Wives?
Like I said, it either needs to stay dark or stay lighthearted. I don't know. I understand the whole, the side of being a professional sports that you don't want people to see. I did not enjoy it. I gave it a 3.
Yeah.
I did not enjoy it.
I think I'm right there with you. I think I'm going to give it a 3 as well. This is not something that I would have watched if it had continued. They got a lot of, I think, capable people. I never found that Lucy Lawless was given a good vehicle after Xena. That show had some weird cult success, but nothing after that I ever saw Lucy Lawless ever. Yeah. But she's great. She's great. She's sexy. Gabrielle Union's great. Vanderbeek is the least hot guy on a show about hot guys.
Right.
And he's known for being like a good-looking dude.
Yeah.
And he's the least hot guy. This show is fucking stacked with sexy people.
Yeah, and he should know all the football lingo after doing Friday Night Lights. You know?
Varsity Blues,
Or,
right?
yeah.
But I think there is something here that not just ripping off the UK footballers' wives, but having the most popular sport in the United States having a drama that parallels that. I think there is something to that. I think there's an idea there. I just wasn't engaged in this, and it was just like, what if everyone was the hottest person?
I would have rather this been set in a minor league Class A baseball team, and the wives of them
all homely.
Well, not homely, but just not rich and wanting to make it big and wanting to get called up and the struggles, and they're still sleeping around with each other even in the minor leagues and stuff.
Everybody be fucking, my man.
I really think that I would have been more interested in that.
Okay. Well, with our scores of 3, we're in the hand-holding club, of course.
Aww.
We'll close the book on Football Wives, and we'll never mention that show again.
Ever, but we'll keep talking about football.
We sure will.
For all you guys out there.
Join us next time, won't you please, when we watch the pilot episode of Twin Detectives. Here's a little something to wet your whistle. 2 identical twin brothers who own a detective agency hatch a plan to expose a phony group of psychics, but soon find themselves involved in murder.
Murder was the case that they gave me. Another reason to see Snoop Dogg doing so well is he actually was almost got convicted of murder, and here he is murdering the WrestleMania.
Yeah. Well said. I love when you get so focused on something you close your eyes. I would do that as a bit, and you'd always call me out. I was like, "What are you tired?" But you do it all the time. What are you doing when you're closing your eyes? Are you really focusing?
Yeah, I'm just focusing.
Trying to shit out a sentence that makes sense.
Right. That's the other part of it.
Boy.
It used to be to keep the room from spinning.
Oh no!
But yeah.
You can find the entire episode of Twin Detectives by subscribing to Couch Pilots on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or go to YouTube. Blake?
You know what to do, Tube.
YouTube. Here's the thing about YouTube. It's got everything.
It does.
Everything's on YouTube, baby.
I had a issue not too long ago where I was trying to put these new lights in my ceiling, and they were supposed to clip into the thing. And for an hour and a half, the first one went in bloop, perfect. It's like, sweet, I'm going to get this done in no time. Second one, could not get it to clip for nothing. So I said, all right, I'll just leave it dangling, and I'll work on it later, and I'll go to the next one. And it was, I couldn't get it to work. Eli comes home. Did I already tell this story?
No.
Oh, Eli comes home. He was like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm trying to put these fucking lights in. I was so pissed by that. I'm like, can't do this stuff. He's like, well, why don't you just go on YouTube? Went on YouTube, searched that light. The guy goes, hey, these lights suck. The clips, it doesn't work. Here's how to fix it. You put washers on it, and it'll click. And put washers on it, click.
Boom.
For an hour and a half, I cussed, just sweated. I had blood on my fingers, cutting myself. And, my son walks in and just says, why don't you just watch YouTube?
Hey, let's see you do that, Daily Motion. Am I right? Hey, if you want to contact the show, you can do it. It's not an impossible task.
No.
How do you do it?
You go to couchpilotspodcast.com. It's your one-stop shop for everything Couch Pilots. It's where the only place you can find every single episode of Couch Pilots.
You say that, but I feel like you never look into it. I feel like that's something you glommed onto 6 years ago.
On iTunes, it does not go all the way back. Spotify used to. It does not. I tried today because I wanted to.
Tried today?
I tried today. I wanted to go back to the first season, trying to reminisce, and it would not go back anything less than season 29. It wouldn't go back any further.
Okay.
And so that tells me there's only one place to get every single episode. We've got listeners who have gone back from day one, and that's where they have to go. CouchPilotspodcast.com. Also, we can email us from there. You can go to our Twitter from there. You can go to our Instagram, where Instagram is banging right now. There's tons of content there. Also, Couch Pilots, Patreon.com/Couch Pilots. That's where you can go to give us some money and help us out.
We got stuff to pay for. We can't do it without money. The bartering system is done.
Yeah, it don't work no more.
Hey, let me come over.
We have to wait till the apocalypse for that to get kind of hyped up.
That's
again.
right. You have to use your skills to earn services or goods from someone else. Yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. Let's see. I don't think there's anything else we're going to touch on. I gave last week a spoiler alert, a little clue to what we'll be doing for episode 400.
Today you mentioned that we're having a dinner.
And today we said it's just gonna be a big old supper right here on Mike.
The Last Supper.
That's what episode 400 will be, the Last Supper. All right, I guess that'll do it then. Hey, this pilot may have been rough, but it's always a smooth flight here on Couch Pilots. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Good seeing everybody.
On behalf of Couch Pilots and the entire crew, we'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip, and we are looking forward to seeing you on board again in the near future. Have a nice day.